Thank you for staying with us. It's still Politics HQ on News Central Television, and there is a, what I call it, breaking story where we understand that a coalition of opposition heavyweights, including Atiku Abubakar, Nasir El-Rufai, Rotimi Amaechi, and of course Umar Ardo, have applied to INEC to register a platform, or called the All Democratic Alliance, also known as the ADA, as a political party. The group says the move aims to offer Nigerians an alternative platform ahead of the 2027 elections amidst growing discontent and political realignment. Well, I still have Zari Yusuf, joining on this conversation, and also joining is Mr. Sam Amadi. Mr. Sam Amadi is the director of the Abuja School of Political Thought. Zari Yusuf is a former national coordinator of the Middle Belt Patriots. Let me start with you, Mr. Sam Amadi. Thank you for joining the conversation. What do you make of this? A new platform, soon to be a political party called the All Democratic Alliance. And what we understand is that part of the pushers of this is the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, who of course has been on multiple times the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Nasir El-Rufai, Rotimi Amaechi, and a host of others. What do you make of this development, sir?
I think, thank you for having me, even though I'm interested, but I think it's really expected, not a surprise. We're hearing about plans to either raise like a political party, merge, sweep into existing one like SDP and the other party agency. So this is expected. And again, the news is that the coalition sponsors had created together they have put up a committee chaired by Rotimi Amaechi, and the committee has really recommended now that action be taken. So this is expected. It's not a surprise. It's not a surprise. It's not a surprise at all. So, but again, the question is, what would INEC do regarding this new political party? Will they decide to, of course, the law is very clear. If they meet the conditions for registration, they should be registered. INEC had, based on the amendment to the Electoral Act, did register parties that didn't meet up the criteria, and those parties went to Supreme Court, and Supreme Court said that INEC has the power to register and register. So now that this new application presumably meets the requirement, I mean, we would expect that this level of Nigerians will be able to put together very basic requirement for registration, presence in states in Nigeria, headquarter office, not being religious or ethnic-based parties, manifesto, constitution. So essentially, I believe that all that is required is in. It's not for INEC to, go through the due process and register this party on time for election. We don't know whether end of the day, the coalition will fully leave the SDP and the ADC and now flow into this new party if registered, or whether some of the opposition party leaders will stay on their own, alone, whether it's Labour Party or other party, while a few stay on the coalition. So a time, for now, uncertainty as to whether this will be the main and the only opposition of all these opposition parties, or we're going to have some people get into this new one and some people remain in the old parties.
All right. Thank you for that, Sam Amadi. Let me bring it to Yusuf. Yusuf, I mean, I noticed that while I was doing the intro, you were sort of laughing. So I'm going to just ask you now, as a young Nigerian, right? I mean, does this move feel like, a desperate rescue for the soul of Nigeria, or just another political move to fulfill or achieve personal political ambitions? Yeah.
Well, the word desperate is what I would underline in your statement, but rescuing Nigeria is not anywhere in the equation, regardless of the names there, whether El-Rufai, whether Atiku, whether Amaechi. Reason being, they have a track record. They have a track record, and the track record is they are career formers of coalition to wrestle power out of a certain government. And basically, they don't do anything with it. They were there when the APC was battered. And for more than a decade, we have seen what the APC is to Nigerians. There is hardly any one of them that has not left a previous political party because he is disgruntled, because the piece of the pie is not actually what he expects. I am most certain that for a man like Nasir El-Rufai, if he was embraced, if he was at the corner of the table of this administration, he's not going anywhere. And I would say to you, even if a bag of rice sold for 500,000 naira and a liter of fuel sold for 5,000 naira, he will tell you every good thing about the regime. So frankly speaking, when you see those names, you wonder, what coalition are you bringing? I mean, I look at the vehemence with which they fought against the PDP. I look at the vehemence with which they struggled to bring in Buhari. I look at the illogicalities with which they tried to intellectualize Buhari's failure for 8 years. And I looked at how vehement they wanted to bring in this particular regime, especially the like of Nasir El-Rufai, how he gloated, the kinds of comments he made, the disrespect that some of the northern elders suffered because of this campaign. And then all of a sudden, because you didn't get what you want, you are forming a coalition. So frankly, it's funny. And I think it's pathetic. I feel sorry for us Nigerians because these so-called elites, frankly, even though they are not, as far as whatever that word elite means, but what they do is the same group that brings in the failure, you know, the failed government. Once they are not getting what they want, they pull out of it and they tell the people, we are trying to form a coalition to remove them in power. So it's the same thing that is just recycling itself. Just that a group of people taking turns exploiting something, and then somebody takes too long or takes too much, and then the next group would tell the villagers, let's gather and sack them. And then they continue doing the same thing the previous people you know, have been doing. So yes, like Professor Sam Amadi said, it's not a surprise. It's expected that they will do so. There is none of them that is not desperate. That basically is it. And I think, unfortunately, their desperation for power takes priority over, their patriotism for Nigeria. That's unfortunate, and they have proven that.
All right, Yusuf. I'm sorry, I just need to come in here, Yusuf. Thank you so much. We'll have a final break. When we return, we'll be taking our final thoughts on what we think, if at all, how much of an impact this might have ahead of 2027. Please stay with us. We'll be right back. Thank you for staying with us. It's still Politics HQ on New Central Television. I still have my guest with me, Dr. Sam Amadi. Of course, he joins virtually. Thank you for staying with me, sir. I also have Zari Yusuf, who is also joining virtually. Now, Dr. Sam Amadi, I mean, just quickly, let me put it to you directly. Looking at this, will I call it platform or movement, if at all, or association, because it's not yet registered as a political party. Should it be registered by INEC? How much of an impact do you think this coalition would have ahead of 2027 election? Should the APC have sleepless nights, considering the caliber of people that make this up? I even, saw someone describing it as some sort of northern coalition, given the, political heavyweights that make it up. Should the APC, have sleepless nights as a result of this? Is this formidable?
Well, I think it's formidable. Look, politics in Nigeria, all over the world, is about personalities and how they come together, and the level of coalition that you build at any time. It's true that, my friend Yusuf Zakari is right about maybe the performance, ethical qualities of these originators. The fact is, politics is about, the people they want to take power from Tinubu and Co are not better than them in profile. So it's unfortunate that the Ghanaian author, Ayakwawa, says, the beautiful ones are not yet born. Those who have the pedigree, the ethical bearing, perhaps to save Nigeria, are not coming forth. So, having said that, I think it's formidable. I think AP should be worried for three reasons. One, APC is not doing very well. I mean, if elections are free and fair, I will put my hot money that they will lose badly. Because if they're not delivering, whether it's by a force, because circumstances are beyond their control, more hunger across the country, look at energy costs, look at devaluation currency, look at number of people who are poor, who are out of school, who are out of job, who are out of medical. So basically,
Dr. Sam, I'm sorry, we did, Dr. Abadi, I'm sorry, but we really need to go. I just want to react what you said. You said if there's an election right now, you can put your money down that the ruling party would lose if it's fair.
If it's free, yes, if it's free and fair. So I think that this coalition, depending on what happens, who see defeat them, forget all the hope plan. They will failing, and I think if it's fair, this coalition or any other coalition, the strong opposition can win. The key point here is how will Nigerians respond to this coalition? What happened to the obedient P2B and other segments not part of it? Are they able to put together the Arabishola and create a wave? It also depends on the electoral system. And finally, it depends also on the voters themselves, political communication and political behavior. The Nigerian voters are oftentimes not intelligent, not responsive to the issues they ought to respond to. So they might pander back to ethnic consideration. I might see shift, but this is in all the dimension a powerful coalition because Nigerian politics circles around politics, strong men who control constituencies or resources or influence or structure, as they say. Strong, but may or may not defeat them, depending on what happens to other parts not able of this coalition.
All right, thank you so much for your time. Azari Yusuf, the former national coordinator of the Middle Belt Patriots. Also, Dr. Sam Amadi is the director of the Abuja School of Political Thought. It's a pleasure having you gentlemen, even though that we know that at some point this invitation came last minute due to the breaking story, but you joined us. Thank you for your service to the nation, and also thank you for being a part of the show tonight. Thank you. All right. And this, of course, is where we drop the curtains. In case you missed out, you can actually, catch up on our YouTube platform. You have it there on your screen. You can also choose to follow us on social media with the same handle that's there on your screen. You can choose to follow me personally at Dakpo, at Digboye. Until I come your way again next week. Good night.